What's going on, guys? This is another episode here of Nolan's Pod. It's game day again today. Tonight is game 3 of the Dallas Mavericks and Boston Celtics NBA Finals. We go to Dallas to play this series instead of Boston for game 3 and 4. Today we're going to recap game 1 and 2. So without further ado, let's get into that. The thing in this series is that the Dallas Mavericks role players have not done anything. And that's honestly to be expected because in the playoffs, role players don't play well on the road. Number 2, rotations are shortened in the playoffs by head coaches anyway. So it's not surprising that the Dallas Mavericks role players have not played well, and it won't be surprising tonight when they're going back home when they play well, because they're back at home and role players play well at home, but they don't play well on the road in the playoffs, vice versa. But the Dallas Mavericks role players that do get in the game and play, they need to come out and shine. Jason Kidd needs to put Tim Hardaway Jr. back in the rotation. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. is a defensive liability. So is Jaden Hardy. He's a defensive liability too, and he's playing. So y'all need scoring, Dallas, and THJ needs to get put back in there. I think that's one thing that Jason Kidd can correct. But it's a lot of other things Dallas needs to do. Dallas has struggled to score in this series. Also, game 2, they only had 98 points. So they need somebody other than Luka. You see, I'm talking about Dallas, and I have not mentioned Kyrie Irving. That's because he's been nowhere to be found, quite honestly. Game 1, he only had 12 points. Game 2, he only had 14 points. So he's been nowhere to be found. And make no question about it. Kyrie, man. Kyrie cannot lie his way out of this one and say that the Boston Celtics fans have not gotten to him by booing him. Kyrie's a former Celtic, and his time there in Boston was not a good one, or was not a great time, I should say. So Kyrie can't lie his way out of this one and say, oh, well, the fans didn't get to me. I was just struggling because I was struggling anyway. Well, I think part of that is the fans, and part of that is he's just not playing. He just did not play well the first 2 games. So it's 50-50 in my opinion. But he has got to step up if the Dallas Mavericks want to have any chance to win tonight, and then not only win tonight, but win the NBA Finals, win a championship. He has got to step up. 12 and 14 points in game 1 and game 2 is unacceptable for Kyrie. Kyrie knows that. He's already addressed that he needs to play better. And quite frankly, Luka needs help. The role players aren't doing nothing. Luka, he needs help badly. It's just like when Luka had said that Kyrie was going off and he was doing his thing, and Luka said, I have to help Kyrie. It's vice versa. Kyrie, you have to do the same thing and help Luka. Give you some stats for Dallas on game 1. Derrick Jones Jr. had 5.6 rebounds on 2 for 9 shooting. P.J. Washington was a bright spot. He had 14 points, 8 rebounds on 5 for 11 shooting. Daniel Gafford had 8 points and 3 rebounds. Daniel Gafford, as big as you are, and the things that you do in your activity around the rim, you should not only just have 3 rebounds. That's a major problem right there. That's a red flag alert right there. That's one of the problems that y'all had game 1. Jaden Hardy came off the bench and had 13 points. That was obviously in garbage minutes, garbage time. Kyrie, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 for 19 from the field, and 0 for 5 from long range for Kyrie Irving. That is not Kyrie. Kyrie has been there and done that before. He's been to the NBA Finals plenty of times before. He's won a championship. He's been through it. He knows what it's like. He's really the only Dallas Maverick that actually knows what it's like to play on the biggest stage. Luka, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 12 from 26 from the field. So Luka only missed 14 shots. Luka only had 1 assist. Like I said with Daniel Gafford, 3 rebounds is unacceptable because all he does is get on the boards and rebound. He only had 3 with Luka Doncic. All Luka does is get his teammates involved and pass the ball. He only had 1 assist. 1 assist from Luka Doncic. 1? That's absolutely crazy. I was shocked when I seen that as a stat that Luka only had 1 assist in game 1. That is highly unacceptable. Luka knows that he has to get his teammates involved. The Boston Celtics did have a great defensive game plan on Luka to limit him, even though he still scored 30 points. But Luka, you cannot have 1 assist. That is unacceptable. The Dallas Mavericks did not shoot well from long range. They only shot 7 from 27 from 3-point range. 7 of 27 from 3-point range. They got to shoot free throws better too. They were only 12 of 19 from the line. That's 63% from the line for the Dallas Mavericks. Boston was no better. They were 13 of 19 from the line. But we're not talking about Boston because Boston won this game. The Dallas Mavericks had 11 turnovers. 11 turnovers. You can't be turning the ball over against a good Boston Celtics team who's going to always score and get points off of turnovers. And you can't give Boston all these chances to capitalize because eventually they're going to capitalize. Boston did that. Boston hit 16 threes in this game. They were 16 of 42 from 3-point range. It's not spectacular, but 16 threes is still 16 threes. Jason Tatum had 16 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He was only 6 from 16 from the field, and he was 3 from 7 from long range. His partner in crime, Jaylen Brown, had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 from 12 from the field, and 2 from 6 from long range. Al Horford had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 from 8 from 3-point range, and 2 for 5 from long range. Drew Holiday did a little bit of everything, as we know Drew Holiday to do. He also did a little bit of everything, and everything I'm recapping right now is strictly from game 1. Drew Holiday had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 for 5 from long range, and 4 from 9 from the field. That's pretty good. Derek White had 15 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 from 11 from the field, and 3 from 8 from long range. Kristaps Porzingis came back. You know he hadn't played in about 3 to 4 weeks. And we were wondering what we were going to see from him. And early on in the game, he was cautious, taking it easy. It still looked like he had a limp, to be honest. But he came out and showed that he was 100% healthy. He had 20 points at Kristaps Porzingis, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 8 for 13 from the field, and 2 for 4 from long range. If you would have told me that Kristaps Porzingis was going to have the best game 1 of anybody on the floor except for Jaylen Brown, if you would have told me that he was going to have a game like that and come out like he had never missed a beat, he came off the bench in this game. If you would have told me he was going to have a game like that, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. Like, nah, he's not going to do that. He's going to work his way back in. He's going to ease himself back into things. He picked up like he never missed a beat at all. So that was a huge plus from the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we know with them having Kristaps Porzingis, that elevates the Boston Celtics' chances of winning a championship. Boston had 14 turnovers. That was 3 more than what Dallas had. Obviously, we're not talking about Boston's turnovers because they won the game. Boston had 23 team assists. 23 team assists to Dallas Mavericks 9. 23 team assists to the Dallas Mavericks 9. That's absolutely crazy. Luka had 1 assist, and as a whole team, the Dallas Mavericks had 9 assists. You have to move the ball around. I understand Luka, Kyrie, they're going to have the ball majority of the time. We get that. We know that. But Luka and Kyrie are also known for getting their teammates involved and passing the ball. One of the reasons, like I said, that the Dallas Mavericks role players did not play well when they did play was because you got to pass. I know Luka and Kyrie have to score their points, but you also have to get your teammates involved. You get your teammates involved. You get your role players involved. They see the ball go through the basket. That does a lot for their confidence. When you see the ball go through the basket and when you see the ball go through the basket and your teammates are constantly getting you involved, that does a lot. That does a lot for a team. So Dallas Mavericks have to do a better job of getting everybody involved, making sure everybody touches the ball, not making sure that Luka and Kyrie gets the ball at the end of the shot clock and they throw up a shot or they got to force a shot. No, you have 5 guys on the court, not just Luka and Kyrie. You have 3 other guys on the court. Get those guys involved. Get them into the rhythm of the game. Get them into a flow so they can be confident. The biggest lead in this game, Boston led by 29 points. That is totally unacceptable. But it's a fill-out game. Game 1 is always a fill-out game. You try to see what your opponent is going to throw at you. Try to see what they're going to do. But leading by 29 is inexcusable. Excuse me. Yeah, game 1, it was all Boston. All Boston. Nothing that the Dallas Mavericks could do to stop these guys. Boston was the better team, and the Dallas Mavericks just simply have to play better. So that takes me to game 2. That takes me to game 2 of this series with Dallas. P.J. Washington, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 from 13 from the field, 1 for 5 from long range. P.J. Washington had a strong game 1 with 14 points. Game 2, he has 17 points. Derrick Jones Jr., 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 for 7 from the field, and 0 for 3 from long range. Okay, Derrick Jones Jr., he's not going to score a lot of points. We know that, so 11 points is okay for him. He was efficient on 4 for 7 shooting. Daniel Gafford, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 from 9 from the field. Daniel Gafford did a better job of getting on the boards in Game 2 than he did in Game 1. He had 9 rebounds in Game 2. That's better. That's almost a double-double. Kyrie struggles continued. 16 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 for 18 from the field, and 0 for 3 from long range. Now, if you would have told me that Kyrie was going to have back-to-back bad games, I would have looked at you, laughed, and looked at you like you were crazy. Kyrie having back-to-back bad games in the final series. That's shocking. Just like I told you, you cannot tell me that crowd did not get to Kyrie. It's a combination of he had 2 bad games, and it's a combination of that crowd was rowdy and they were bullying Kyrie every time he touched the ball. Those were the combinations of why Kyrie has struggled. He's going back home tonight. I expect him to have a better game 3 and 4 at home. If he does not, Dallas is finished. I don't care what Luka does. If Kyrie does not have a good game 3 and 4, unlike his game 1 and 2, Dallas is finished. It's over. That's it. That's a wrap. Kyrie, you are the key to this series. You know what you need to do. Y'all have a golden opportunity. Y'all have a golden opportunity because Kristaps Porzingis hurt his leg in game 2 of this series. He hurt his leg. And even though he's questionable, it's a serious injury. Joe Mazzulla, Celtics head coach, said this is a serious lower left leg injury and his ankle too. And it's an actual rare injury. So this is an opportunity for the Dallas Mavericks to actually show up at home and show out and try to get one win and then try to tie up the series in game 4. Let me go back to the stats. Game 2, Luka, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 12 from 21 from the field, 4 from 9 from long range. Luka only had 1 assist in game 1. In game 2, he had 11 assists, 11 rebounds, 32 points, and he was very efficient on 12 from 21 shooting, and he knocked down 4 threes. He was very efficient. he had a better game than he did game one. He had 10 more assists than he did from game one in game two. So Luka, he did Luka Doncic type things. He needs help. As I mentioned, Kyrie, you have to help him. As I mentioned, the role players have to play better. They didn't play much at all in game two. And when they did play, they didn't do anything. Tim Hardaway Jr. did not play in game two. Or did he? He played in game one, and he played garbage minutes. It was garbage time. He played 7 minutes. He wasn't going to make an impact on the game because the game was already over by the time he came in. Game two, I don't think he played. The role players have to play better at home, which I expect them to do, which they always do. Role players always play better at home. The Dallas Mavericks, y'all cannot have 15 turnovers. Y'all had 11 turnovers in game one. Game two, y'all had 15 turnovers. Y'all got to stop turning the ball over. Part of that is because the Boston Celtics were ranked number 2 defensively. So, and then when you have Derek White and Jrue Holiday, your best 2 perimeter defenders, and then you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who get after it defensively, that's gonna mess with you. They're gonna cause and wreak a lot of havoc. They're gonna cause opposing teams to turn the ball over. And the Dallas Mavericks have definitely stunk up the joint with the turnovers game 1 and game 2. The first 2 games of this series, the Dallas Mavericks have a combined 26 turnovers. Game 1 and game 2 combined 26 turnovers. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Again, Dallas, y'all have to shoot well from the free throw line. It's free points. 16 for 24 from the field. 16 of 24 from the free throw line. That is 66%. That's not good. It's free throw, it's free points. Make your free throws. That's another thing. Game 1, they didn't shoot well from the free throw line. Game 2, not shooting well from the free throw line. Also, game 2, 6 from 25 from long range. That's 23%. 23%. 6 from 25. Luka hit 4 of those 6 threes. PJ Washington hit 1 3. So that's 5. And then you have somebody else who hit a 3. That's 6. Y'all got to shoot better from long range. That's one thing Boston does well. They shoot good from long range. Dallas, one thing that frustrated me about game 2 is the Boston Celtics were horrible from long range in this game. They only shot 10 from 39 from three-point range. That's 25%. That's not good either. Boston is a high-volume three-point shooting team, and they're also a good three-point shooting team percentage-wise. They did not shoot the 3 well in this game too, and y'all still managed to lose. Boston did not play their best game in game 2, and the Dallas Mavericks just could not, for the life of me, they just could not get over the hump. They just could not take advantage of it. Now, we know how Boston is in these game 2s. They haven't played well all playoffs long in game 2s, and they didn't play well in the finals in this game in game 2. They got lucky because the Dallas Mavericks were just beating themselves some. The Dallas Mavericks had 21 team assists. That's good. The Boston Celtics have 29 team assists. That's great too. Dallas, y'all did a better job of getting y'all teammates involved in this game. 21 team assists. Luka, you did a better job of getting your teammates involved because you had 11 assists. It's just Kyrie has to help out. If Kyrie scores more than 20 points, Dallas probably wins this game, or they probably have a good chance of winning this game. But 14 and 16 points in game 1 and game 2 is not going to get it for Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. He has to be a factor. Dallas, y'all have to quit turning the ball over. Y'all need to make y'all free throws. Y'all have played okay defensively. The Dallas Mavericks, y'all game plan defensively, it has not been bad. Boston only scored 107 points in game 1, and in game 2, they only scored 105. So that's not terrible defense by today. How these teams score in the NBA today, that is not terrible defense. It's just that Boston, Dallas, y'all need to buckle down offensively. Offensively, y'all need to buckle down. The stats in game 2 for the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum had 18 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds, 6 from 22 from the field, and 1 from 7 from 3. Jason Tatum, make no question about it. Like Kyrie, Jason Tatum struggled game 1 and game 2. The only reason why Jason Tatum's not getting any criticism is because the Boston Celtics won the 2 games. They won game 1, they won game 2, they're up 2-0. That's why Jason Tatum's not getting any criticism. Kristaps Porzingis is probably likely not going to play, and if he does play, he's not going to be effective. So, Jason Tatum, it's on you. It's on you. We're looking at you. Kristaps Porzingis is probably not going to play. You had a bad 2 games, but y'all got away with it because y'all won the first 2 games. You need to play well, because if Kristaps Porzingis does not play and y'all lose and you have another bad game, then it falls on you. It falls strictly on you. But because y'all winning, nobody cares about you having a bad game. And shooting the ball wise, he's having a bad game. His rebounds, assists, all that, that's good. That's great. His 3-point shooting and his shooting period, he's struggling with that. Nobody's talking about it because they're winning. Jason Kidd made headlines because he said that Jaylen Brown is their best player instead of saying that Jason Tatum is their best player. And quite frankly, Jason Kidd was onto something. Jaylen Brown has been the Boston Celtics' best player. He really has. He got the Eastern Conference Finals trophy for the MVP. He got that last series. They awarded that to him. He was the MVP of that series. You know what I'm saying? Because he played like it. Jaylen Brown played like it in game 2. He had 21 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 8 for 15 from the field, and 1 for 5 from 3-point range. He is playing like the Boston Celtics' best player. Everybody's looking at it like Jason Kidd just took an unnecessary shot at Jason Tatum. He didn't. He was just keeping it real. Jaylen Brown has been the Boston Celtics' best player. Seriously, he really has. And with Jason Tatum struggling as he is, that's only proving Jason Kidd's point. But because they're winning, we're not talking about Jason Tatum's struggles. We're talking about them winning. Jrue Holiday had 26 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 for 14 from the field, and 2 for 4 from long range. Jrue Holiday is one of the most underrated players that there is in the game today. He is very underrated. He has a championship, so he knows what it takes to win. And with Jason Tatum struggling, he said, okay, I'm going to step up and I'm going to do my thing. And he gave you 26, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. 11 for 14 from the field. That's very efficient. 2 for 4 from long range. That's 50%. That's very efficient. That is very efficient. He's doing what he needs to do. Jason Tatum struggling. You're like, okay, I got you, Jason Tatum. We're a team. I got you. And he's doing his thing. And Jaylen Brown said, Jason Tatum, I got you too. I'm going to step up and I'm going to do my thing too. And he's been doing his thing throughout this whole playoffs. Jaylen Brown has always been 1B. He has always been 1B to Jason Tatum. In this playoff run, he has shown that he's 1A. I can't say no good things about what Jaylen Brown is doing. If the Boston Celtics win this championship, Jaylen Brown is a huge reason why the Boston Celtics won a championship, because of what he has done through this playoff run. Jrue Holiday, he's another reason. If Boston gets this done, he's another reason. They traded for him, they got him, and he's fit right in. In Boston so far in Game 1 and Game 2, they have been the better team. They have outplayed the Dallas Mavericks. They made the Dallas Mavericks look like they don't belong here. It's almost like last year with the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat. Denver made the Miami Heat look like they shouldn't even be in the finals because they swept them. This is what the Boston Celtics are doing to the Dallas Mavericks. They are making the Dallas Mavericks look like they don't belong in the NBA Finals and that they just got lucky that they got to the finals. That's how this series is being played. The Dallas Mavericks are getting pumped. and the Boston Celtics are just taking full advantage of the situation. They're taking full advantage of it. Boston also has a chip on their shoulder because they lost to the Golden State Warriors in the finals in 2022. So now that they've gotten back to this point, they trying to win them a championship. And if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum get this championship for the Boston Celtics, all that pressure that they've had on them through the years to get into all these Eastern Conference Finals and not being able to get it done, all that pressure goes away if they win a championship. And with that being said, they're only 2 wins away from getting a championship. But hold on, if Kristaps Porzingis, if he cannot go tonight or for the rest of this series because his lower leg injury is serious, if he cannot go and the Dallas Mavericks get back into this series, that's going to change a lot of things. Because as I told you, coming into this series, Kristaps Porzingis, if he plays, Boston's going to have an easier chance to win this title. He has played the first 2 games, and Boston's up 2-0. If he's out, the Dallas Mavericks can get back into this series. So, this series is not over. It's going back to Dallas. A lot's going to happen, but it's going to depend on what Kyrie Irving does and if he's actually going to show up and if he's going to help Luka. And it also depends on the Dallas Mavericks role players actually playing well. Dallas cannot turn the ball over, and they need to hit their free throws. Those are 4 keys right there for Dallas. The home crowd's on y'all side. Get back into the series. Make this a series. We've all predicted that this was going to be a long series. We do not want to see a game 4 sweep, a sweep in 4 games. We want to see a 6 to 7 game series. Make it a series, Dallas. That's all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back with another episode tomorrow to recap Game 3.